Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Before we get into them, I'll remind you that we also have the Collector Car Stories podcast on our YouTube channel. Also, you can find it on our website. There's a dedicated menu tab to it. Every week we talk to a fellow enthusiast about their cars, their car stories, and the fun they have with cars. We have fun with it. Please do check it out. And a reminder to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of the Collector Car Stories podcasts or these car reviews we do. So today we have two pretty cool cars to tell you about. I'm excited about both. Lot 204 on CollectorCarCanada.CA is a 1996 Acura NSX-T 5-speed manual. So the T to denote Targa. Lot 205, even more rare. It's a 2015 Ford Mustang GT 50-year limited edition. So this is one of 1,964 limited edition cars, numbered cars. You'll see the number on a plaque in the dash in our detailed listings photo gallery. It also comes with a Ford warranty, good through the end of the year. But the real differentiator on this car is that its odometer reads under 22 kilometers. So as I like to say, if you forgot to buy one in 2015, here is your chance. But first we'll look at the Acura. There's a video chock full of information as our detailed listing. But here I'll tell you a little bit about the origins of the NSX, which was released as a 1991 model. It was a breakthrough in the industry. Honda reliability came to the supercar realm. This particular one we have is one of 111 only in 1996 for the color combo with the manual transmission. The current owner has turned it into somewhat of an Ayrton Senna tribute car by some decals, which are easily removed with a heat gun if the new owner prefers not to have them. But this owner, being a Formula One fan, he kitted up the car with Senna's autograph. And Senna is an important figure in the NSX history because he drove a pre-production car at the Suzuka track in Japan. And the Honda engineers were very excited to hear about his comments because at that point they figured they had already nailed it. And he came back to him after his laps on the track and said that it feels a little fragile. So not discouraged, but a little disappointed. The engineers went back to the drawing board, made it 50% stiffer, and Senna got to try it again in Nürburgring, Germany, at the famed Nürburgring, and it met his stiffness spec, his own personal stiffness spec, and it was of course 50% stronger as well in the chassis, 50% stronger than both a 911 and a 928 back at the time. So those would be Porsche's number one offerings at the time. So Senna is also an interesting figure when it comes to the NSX. It definitely met his approval. He's owned 3 over the years. And this is, of course, they were just released at a time when Honda entered F1 racing for the first time. And of course, Honda was able to win races, F1 races, in only its second year of competing. Just a little more fun fact about the NSX. The name itself, NS, definitely refers to new sports car. X, there seems to be some date as to whether it's short for experimental or the mathematical X, so the unknown. So that's where the NSX name comes from. And in the first generation, the Targas were not released until the 1995 model year, and the majority of first generation NSXs were sold in the 1991 and 92 model year. So that makes this Targa pretty unique. On to the Ford. As I say, 2015 Ford Mustang GT 50-year limited edition. So this car has delivery miles only. It's under 22 kilometers. So it's been in the collection of a Ford dealer since it was new. And there were only two choices to make when ordering these cars, speccing them out when they were new. One was color and the other was transmission. All of the 50-year limited edition models come with the performance pack, which I'll detail in a minute, but that was offered as an option on Mustang GTs for the year. But all of the 50-year limited edition models come with the performance pack. But the two choices to make were for color. The choice there was Wimbledon white or Kona blue. Now we're biased, of course, but we think Wimbledon white is the choice, being that it was the color of the first Mustang, 1965 Mustang, that was delivered in 1964. And of course, we like sporting overtones in a car, so we prefer the 6-speed manual transmission over the automatic for this car. So yeah, this car is painted in its original Wimbledon white and outfitted with the 6-speed manual transmission. Now that performance pack I was talking about comes with Brembo calipers, and it's got improvements from the base GT in terms of springs, bushings, dampers, cooling capacity. It's also got a thicker roll bar, and there's a strut tower brace in place, and it's got a unique splitter. There's also a different calibration for ABS, steering, and stability control. And lastly, it's outfitted with the Pirelli P0 tires. So the rims are staggered tires, but only the performance pack got the Y-rated Pirelli P0s. So here come the cars. Again, lot 204, a 1996 Acura NSX-T with a 5-speed manual, and lot 205, a 22-kilometer 2015 Ford Mustang GT 50-year limited edition with a Ford warranty included, and that's in a 6-speed manual. Thanks for watching. Here come the cars. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Before we get into this car, just a reminder that we also run the Collector Car Stories podcast, where we talk to an enthusiast once a week about his or her cars, car stories, and just the fun they have with cars. So today we're here to talk about a unique car when it was built, and now that we're 9 years, almost 10 years hence, even more unique. It's lot 205 on CollectorCarCanada.CA, and it's a 2015 Ford Mustang GT 50-year limited edition. So the 50-year limited edition Mustang GTs are numbered cars. There were 1,964 of them built. So that is to commemorate that the first Mustangs were released for sale in 1964, mind you, as 1965 models. So a 1 of 1964 car makes it rare as it is. Much more rare is that this car has delivery miles only. The odometer reads under 22 kilometers and will read under 22 kilometers when the new owner picks up the car. Another nice thing about this car is that it comes with a Ford warranty. So the car was technically delivered to its first retail buyer December 31st, 2016, and at that time an 8-year extended Ford warranty was purchased and attached to the car. So that's an 8-year, 60,000 kilometer warranty Very unlikely it's going to get to the 60,000 kilometers before December 30th of this year, but it is under warranty through to the 30th of December 2024. So this car is a 6-speed manual car, and it's finished in its original Wimbledon white. So the 50-year limited edition cars there were only two choices to make, and that was color. Those were color and transmission. So this one is in Wimbledon white, which is the same color as the first Mustang delivered back in 1964. And this one has the sportier choice, the 6-speed manual. Otherwise, all of the 50-year limited edition cars were fully optioned Mustang GTs. That includes the performance pack, which would be familiar to some of the Mustang aficionados. We definitely break those down in our detailed listing, which is lot 205 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. So in addition to the distinctions about the year and the anniversary, this car is also the first year of the S550 generation. So the S197 came with the modern nostalgic look in 2005, and this S550 generation is the first whereby all Mustangs, the full line, has independent rear suspension. Other equipment on this limited edition coupe is, well, I talked about the GT, so that means it comes with a Coyote 5-liter V8, good for 435 horsepower. Other equipment, limited slip differential, louver-style rear quarter windows, which differentiates it from the rest of the Mustang GTs of the year. And there's chrome on the tail light and trim for those windows, also distinguishing it from other Mustang GTs of the year. There are 19-inch wheels, dual zone climate control, heated, cooled power seats in the front, bucket seats those are. And those seats are leather, of course, but they're a two-tone black and cashmere in color. So again, that differentiates it from the other Mustangs of the year. There's a 12-speaker stereo system by Shaker. The My Ford Touch infotainment system with voice-activated navigation is in place on this car. So the wheels I mentioned, the aluminum wheels, I call them 5Y spokes with painted pockets. They're 19s. The Pirelli P0 supplied Ford with tires for these cars. So 255/40 in the front, 275/40 in the rear on this staggered setup. So 9-inch wheels up front, 9.5 in the rear. Disc brakes at all four corners, as you'd expect. ABS and Brembo calipers up front. The Brembos and the P0s are indicative of the performance pack I was speaking of. And there's traction control. Ford's advanced track system is equipped, and it's also can be powered off from a button in the cockpit should the driver prefer. The window sticker for the car appears in our gallery, so you can get full details of the spec there. The 3-spoke multi-function steering wheel has a neat Mustang logo in the center, over the airbag, of course, and the black leather wrap on the circumference of the wheel comes with stitching, contrasting stitching in that same cashmere I mentioned on the seats, so the seat inserts. And you'll see that stitch also on the dash as well as the seats. Also on the dash, there's a nice aluminum trim, but there's a commemorative plaque on each of these 50-year limited edition cars numbered. So this example is number 810 of the 1,964 units produced. So with under 2,000 to start with, you got to figure this is, if not the lowest mileage car, it's got to be one of the lowest mileage car. Again, under 22 kilometers when when this car is going to be delivered to its new owner. Also showing off that contrasting stitch are the shifter boot, some of the door inserts, and center armrests. So a nice consistent sort of theme throughout the interior. Also on the front buckets, there's embossing commemorating the first 50 years of Mustang. Going back to the plaque I mentioned, where this car is number 810 of 1964, there's a signature on there from Bill Ford, who's still the chairman of Ford Motor Company. So, of course, as you'd expect, this car is equipped with rear drive only, and the power gets to the wheels by a 6-speed manual transmission, and there's a limited slip differential in place to complement that advanced track system. So as I say, the window sticker will be included with the car. It shows a total MSRP of just under $55,000, about $68,000 in today's dollars using the Canadian Consumer Price Index. And as well as the goodies that you see with the car, there are some additional goodies that come with the car, like a plaque, a Mustang plaque, factory literature, and accessories. There's a special set of floor mats for these 50-year limited edition cars. So that all comes with the car, as well as an accident-free Carfax report. So please look for this one as lot 205 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Again, 22 kilometers on this 2015 Ford Mustang GT 50-year limited edition with a Ford warranty. Thanks for watching. Good luck, bidders. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another car on this episode of the Collector Car Canada Car Reviews Podcast. Today, we are looking at a 1996 Acura NSX-T, the T standing for Targa. As you see, there's a fixed back window in this car and a Targa roof, which stows in the rear, and that's where it's sitting right now. So we're doing this one with an open roof. So 1996 Acura NSX-T. There's a hyphen in between the X and the T. So the Acura NSX, wow, what a car. This is a real benchmark breakthrough car. Acura, its parent company Honda, of course, it's known as a Honda in Japan, released the NSX for the 1991 model year. So they started hitting showroom floors in mid to third quarter of 1990. I still remember Acura placing a special insert in the Globe and Mail newspaper, a color ad for the brand new then 1991 Acura NSX. The horsepower ratings published in the ad were 270 horsepower, and the price, the MSRP without any options, was $79,800. So do your math with the Consumer Price Index, CPI, to figure out what that is in today's dollars. I haven't done it yet. So as I say, a breakthrough car for Honda, a breakthrough car for the industry. It was known to be the supercar that could handle around town like a Civic and just as reliably. So it's got a bit of a look of a Ferrari, and that's no coincidence. That's who Honda was after with the 1991 NSX. So as I say, this is a 1996 model, and it's been dressed up even more, especially with the Targa roof. So I'll start it, and we'll give the engine a listen as well as the exhaust. So starts right up. Gonna turn off that fan. This car reads 96,848 miles. So its new owner is going to find this car with under 97,000 miles. It's a US market car, so that's why I'm speaking in miles on this one. So the engine on the NSX is not in the front, it's not in the rear. It's a mid-engine car. So So mid-engine, by that we mean engine between the two axles. So I'll get the release here and open her up. So this glass raises first. That just pops up. Then there's a cover here. It's going to be considerably heavier with the Targa roof stowed. So the Targa roof is right under here, under this panel. It would be here if it were a cooler day, beautiful day today. And with the Targa roof, this does pop up like so. So here's a look at the engine. This is a 3-liter V6 engine. You can see the Honda badging. You can also see DOHC for double overhead cam and VTEC for Honda's variable valve timing system, which feels a bit like an 80s or 90s turbo. Give it some juice, it gets to a certain RPM, the valves open up and whoosh, away it goes. So that's a good look at the engine and a little listen to the sound of it. We're fixed with a dual exhaust here, so let's take a listen to the exhaust pipes. And the lens that goes all the way across the rear, as the original NSX was known for. And here's the other set of pipes. So yeah, a red on black example. We'll close this glass. A red on black example, as I say. I'm gonna cut the engine here. Those familiar Honda chimes. So taking a look around the car, as I say, it's a bright red paint, US market car. It does have a few aftermarket touches, all of which are pretty easily reversible, I do believe. The wheels on these are by Fast, and they've been upsized. The car did come with what I like to call double staggered wheels, so wider in the rear than the front, but the diameter is also bigger in the rear than the front. So these wheels are by Fast. They're skinned in a set of Continental Extreme contacts. There's more information about the sizes and speed rating on our listing, but 18s in the front with a very good tread, 19s in the rear also with a good tread. These tires are a little dated though. 2014 is the date code on the fronts, 2016 in the rear. So just taking a look around at the car, here's a good angle of it from the front. The grass we're on is a little long. It looks like the front spoiler touches the ground. It's actually the grass is overgrown a little bit. And there's a bit of scuffing on this front air dam. There's a better picture of that on our listing. Pop-up headlights, sort of the thing to have in a performance car of the day. Just wandering around to the side. Of course, with that mid-engine, this is an air intake. There's one on each side for that to feed that mid-engine power plant. Neat look at the Targa roof, or well, where the Targa roof would be. It's not in place right now. And this car has been emblazoned with Ayrton Senna's autograph, as you see there. There's one on each side, and as you probably saw, each door by the door latch release has the NSX logo, and there's the Ayrton Senna autograph again. And then it's found back here as well, above the left side of dual pipes. And here's a look at the rear of the car. So a very sleek, low look, and that spoiler is fixed into place. And the center brake light, I'm not sure if we can see it with the video, but the center brake light is LED and it spans across the entire spoiler. So it's quite a light show when this car hits the brakes. Okay, and on the inside, we see a few more aftermarket touches. This steering wheel, I wish I could think of something to give you for perspective. There's a shot of my hand, and I'm not blessed with basketball player hands. You can see it's a very small circumference Momo steering wheel. It does have a horn button in the center, which is functional. And another aftermarket touch is we can see this deck, or this head unit. I'll give you a look at that in a moment. So working our way to the center stack, there is a sort of a classic look of the period digital clock at the top. A couple of fan vents. We've got our HVAC system, with auto climate control, as we see here. This is the aftermarket upgraded deck, the head unit by Clarion. Shift knob has been upgraded. It's it might be a brass, I'm not sure what metal that is, but it's a hard metal. But even so, the gearing, it remains labeled. Just the handbrake here, and that's a stock piece. This is, I call it a storage compartment because this is not a cigarette lighter. It's just an outlet for 12 volt charging. Nice thing to have, especially in a 1995 car. You don't always see those. I'm gonna start it up so we can show off the pop-up headlights. I think that'll give you a picture, so I'll pop them on. So, a fun little touch of an 80s and 90s sports car, and fully functional to this day. So along the side, again, this car was in the $80,000 to $90,000 range in Canadian dollars when new. So it comes with the appointments you'd expect. I really like the draping of the finish here on the door card. Power mirrors, power windows, and power locks. More vents here. Another nice Honda touch of the period. When you're running your defrost, there are vents here. So those blow vents here inside the door. You can see that the air will blow from here through to here in the door, and then upward to blow hot air to help defrost the door windows, not just the front windows. This car, you didn't see it when I showed you the exterior because the windows were down. You might have noticed in the rear, but you can see this sunshade. Got tinted windows here, keeps it cool. We've got some neat NSX floor mats, and this piece of the stereo, I believe that's an amplifier. It probably needs to be tightened up, and we can also see some loose carpet over here, and that's as a result of the stereo installation. This car came to Canada in 2005, and that's about when this booming stereo was installed, to the tune of about $6,000 at the time. Interesting way to organize the stocks. Here's your wipers, a common Honda piece at the time. 4 ways up here, as well as cruise control operation. And we got our turn signals, lights, and rear defrost is right there. We got a big speaker in each door. There's also a center speaker in the rear here. And this car's been outfitted also with these NSX. It looks like embroidery. Look up close. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but these are actually decals, so easily removed if that's what the new owner prefers. Just looking at the instrumentation then, as we see, the odometer reads 96,848 today, so it's going to its new owner at under 97,000 miles. We can see the speedometer is in miles, with maxing out at 180. And with my old eyes, I think I see 260 in kilometers an hour, but don't quote me on that because I can't read it without my glasses. A screaming tack with a $9,000 RPM max, red line at 8,000. So that makes use of that Honda VTEC technology I was describing earlier, where those valves open up in the higher rev range. I once owned a 2000 Prelude SH, and that happened at about 4,800 RPM in that car. Flanked over to the left with water temperature and oil pressure. Over on the right, fuel level and alternator reading. So with the change in steering wheel, there's no driver airbag in place here, but we can see the SRS, familiar SRS symbol over here. So it's equipped with a passenger airbag. Okay, so that wraps up our little look at the 1996 Acura NSX-T. Again, the mileage reading just under 97,000 miles. A US market car. It was imported into Canada in 2005, and the RIV.CA decal remains in place on the driver's door jamb. You can see that on our detailed listing. There's a photo of it. So find it on CollectorCarCanada.CA. We're filming this one a little in advance. I don't have a lot number for you yet. But if you search 1996 Acura NSX-T on our website, you're going to find it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.